This is the Entertainment Roundup for February 9th, 2014. I'm J77. And before I get started on the six topics I want to cover today, I might as well cover on a topic that I wasn't too sure that I wanted to bring up on this week's episode, mainly because I have talked briefly about it in both a previous Entertainment Roundup episode, as well as my more political channel, my second channel. And needless to say, I was going to just ignore it because a lot of stuff is being thrown out there back and forth. Is involved Woody Allen, his family from the Pharaoh side, the allegations that has been coming up and continuing to come up. And after seeing this whole thing explode the way it has, I might as well touch briefly on it. As you guys well know, Woody Allen's adopted daughter had pretty much came out and said that she was molested by him at the age of 7. These lead a whole bunch of gossip from the tabloids, basically talking about the divorce, the bit of custody battle. It was so crazy that Woody Allen actually had to speak up about the situation, pretty much denying everything and saying that this is pretty much the manipulation of Farrell. As you all know, it was a bitter custody battle, a bitter divorce, and this largely stems to his current wife, who happens to be Woody Allen's, or formerly Woody Allen's adopted daughter, which he and Mia Farrow raised. It was revealed that he had an affair with her and decided to go be with her and not Mia Farrow. This ended pretty much as you could expect. It very nasty, very bitterly. It pretty much tore the whole family apart. No, correct that. It has torn the family apart. And even after years have passed, there is still anger, hatred, and bitterness towards this whole situation. And the allegations is also part of this. Here's the thing about this. I'm not choosing any sides on the matter. I am not saying that it's true or not true because I honestly don't know. The one thing we got to be mindful of is that there was never any charges, and from what I'm seeing so far, there is not going to be any charges. I know the Young Turks had mentioned that it's hard to prove in a situation, but they feel that the stuff that she has said involving the details, which is pretty much nerve-clenching, they feel it's hard to believe that she could have made that up. I'm a little bit on the middle. I'm going to stay in the middle, and because of this one thing, and how this is all stems. All this came about after the Golden Globes. A lot of stuff has been said with the Golden Globes. Mia Farrow had made it very clear that he didn't think he deserves that award due to the fact of his past with the scandal and all, and with the fact that of the other allegations that has surfaced. His son have pretty much made it clear how upset he was. So a lot of stuff has been being thrown out there, and it's all coming from him getting a Special Achievements Award from the Golden Globes. And I have to ask myself, and I think anyone who has followed this have to ask themselves, is have not given that award, would all this have thrown out on the all this stuff would have came out on the surface the way it has? And the answer is simple: no, it's not. This thing would have never have been saying anything. There probably would have been bitterness within Twitter, but this would have never exploded the way it has. And it seemed like the Golden Globe was pretty much the trigger, the domino effect that led to a whole situation. And I said that before in one of my in the previous Entertainment Roundup video a few weeks back. I'm gonna say it again. When I'm seeing the situation, whether you believe it, the situation or not, it's still hurting the Pharaohs more than it's hurting Woody Allen. And largely because of how they've been handling this, especially with the allegation. Because for me, I see this allegation as nothing more than a ploy to get the people, to get the media, as well as getting the social network, just in general, the people who are fans or non-fans of Woody Allen, to pretty much pick a side, to say, to make him be guilty just by public opinion. And to me, I don't think that's how it's going to work. If these are allegations that is true, and if they are true, um, then the best thing is to do is press charges, or have some kind of a lawsuit or something, so that way all this could be on the surface. To me, using the people, the popularity of the people to make him feel guilty, even though we don't know if he's guilty or not, is really not the best way to go. In fact, to me, the more I hear it from the Farrell side, the more it makes me believe that they are just using this just to try and hurt him and hurt his image in any which way they can. Because again, he won an award, and that they feel he should never have gotten based on his personal life alone. And I don't feel that, again, despite what has happened, and I'm not saying that I totally agree with what Woody Allen has done. I think that that was the most messed up thing that he have done to his family, and we're seeing the repercussion of this right now. But I also, at the same time, you can't put professionalism and his personal life in the same boat. You got to keep it separate, and that's what the Golden Globes did. They kept it separate. But this whole thing, which just doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon, because as soon as Woody Allen says something, now his adopted daughter is saying something. Now you have other people saying something. So this is obviously becoming a heated back and forth situation. And looking at this from the outside, I'm seeing more of the Farrell family be being over rational than Woody Allen. Woody Allen has tried to keep it quiet, trying to keep it peaceful, but they are just keep dragging him in. And now, even if he says something, they're looking to beat him down, saying all other stuff. I'm gonna leave a link below to the article, but to me, I'm like this: unless you're going to actually bring charges on him, unless you're going to do something that will bring more, that will force him to actually reveal what actually happened that day, all it is your word against his. All it is you're trying to hurt him in any which way you can. And before anybody says that I'm being sensitive, I'm not. But I gotta be realistic here. If Woody Allen have not won that award, will we be hearing this stuff today? The answer is no. He won that award. They're bitter that he won that award, and that led to a whole other bunch of stuff that's going on. And the media is pretty much just eating it up as juicy gossip. And to me, it's just, I wish that this thing would have just. Well, in any case, I will leave a link so you guys can check it out yourself. Let's get on to the other news I actually do want to talk about. I got a lot of them, so let's not waste any time. Alex Rodriguez, as you know, the drama is finally over. According to massive reports, including News Radio, Sports Radio 66, WFAN, 104.9 FM on the FM dial. Alex Rodriguez had to accept his season-long suspension, drop all lawsuits against the MLB and the Major League's union, for that matter. This is sparking after he was suspended for a year for use of steroids, performance enhancing drugs. This is kind of like not. I can't say I'm not too surprised because of the few things. When he was suspended, he was mad. He was irate. He said he was going to challenge it. He's going to take it to the end of the earth and prove his name. And yet, a lot of professionals who are not only in the sporting world but also in the legal world as well said that he had a slim to none chance of that actually happening. And then a few days later, he says something that scratched a lot of people's heads, saying that I think he was, I believe, in Mexico, but he said some things that really make me wonder if he's actually thinking with a clear head or he's just stupid. But he basically said that the Major League Baseball was doing him a favor by suspending him a whole year, which, if I'm his lawyer, I'm going to say, what the hell are you doing? Now, we heard just about 24 hours, 48 hours ago, that he said that he's given up. He had waved the white flag, and we will not be seeing him in the 2014 season. And this is largely due to the fact that he have dropped everything and said, you know what, forget about it, and it's not worth it. I'm gonna read what it says here. The New York Associated Press. This is who article I'm covering. The person who wrote the article is Ronald Bloom. I've got a couple of his stuff before. Did a good job on this one. But he said Alan Rodriguez accepted a season-long suspension for Major League Baseball on Friday, the longest penalty in sports history related to performance enhancement drugs. The decision came nearly 4 weeks after the arbitrator Frederick Horwitz issued his decision, largely withholding the penalty issued to the New York Yankees third baseman last summer by Baseball Commissioner Buck Selig. Rodriguez had repeatedly proclaimed his innocence and sued Major League Baseball as well as the Major League Baseball Players Association in federal court to overturn the penalty. All right. But 27 days after the decision, with the start of spring training a week away, the three-time AL MVP withdrew his lawsuit and a previous action filed last week claiming the MLB Baseball and Buck Selig were engaged in a witch hunt against him. The Major League Baseball issued a statement calling the decision to the end of injunction impundent. What the hell that means. We believe that Mr. Rodriguez's action shows his desire to return the focus on the baseball, our great game on the field, to all the positive attitudes and actions of his fellow major league players. The sport says we share that desire. Sure you do. Rodriguez had angered many of his fellow players by suing his own union in an attempt to avoid suspension. I.R.S. Rodriguez have done the right thing by withdrawing his lawsuit, the union said in a statement. His decision to move forward is in everyone's best interest. I want to stop there for 1 minute. I'm going to continue reading the last two paragraphs here, or the last two sentences for that matter. But this was where he made his biggest mistake. He went after one of the biggest unions in the world who has tried to help him. And again, just like many of the players who accepted their suspensions gracefully, may I ask, the evidence was overwhelming. Was some of the stuff suspicious? Absolutely. There's still a matter of the question of Buster paying a guy who was crooked himself for evidence, which is still up in questions to this day. But they still had enough, from what I've been reading, that they have that basically pinpoint Rodriguez doing something that was against the drugging policies in that sport. And again, he was very, very strong, very high strong, saying he was innocent, he was going to fight to the bitter end. But he did something that really raised a question. It was one, he went after the baseball because he had no choice, because if he wanted to proceed further, he had to go after baseball. But he went after the union, which, to my understanding, actually was on his side. They actually did their best to fight the situation. It's just that the evidence was just overstacked against him, and the fact is he didn't do himself any favors by walking out of the arbitrator hearing. That was alone. That was a mistake on his own. Whether you believe that he felt that Buck Selig should testify or not, that's beyond the point. He walked out there, so any chance of him speaking, any chance of him proving his innocence, just basically went down the dumps because he walked away and he didn't try to state his case. So is the last two sentences here. It says, after issuing a continuous statement on the day of the arbitrator decision, Rodriguez folded quietly. We stand by the statement issued, and we have no further comment. Rodriguez spokesman Rob Burris says, and that's pretty much it. I'll leave a link below. But again, it was very clear, just from what a lot of people all over the baseball world, all over the legal world, have said, that he really didn't have much of a leg to stand on. And again, he didn't do himself any favors by walking out of that arbitrary. Have he stayed there, made his case, presented something that will pretty much contradict what Major League Baseball has done. He probably had a more better leg to stand on with the appeal. But the fact is, he didn't took advantage of presenting himself to the arbitrator. He walked out, and that alone could hurt any chances of you proving innocent. That was the one that's going to hurt him. And even if he goes to the appeal, the first thing the judge is going to do is, why did you walk out? You had a chance to do something. You walked out of that arbitrary hearing. But again, he was just going on a rampage. And then all of a sudden, when just 2 days after that, he said that the baseball did us a favor. So it raised a lot of big signals. It raised a lot of questions as to this mindset of what he was doing. But one thing is definitely certain, that it is over. Did and now this will be the first year that the Rangers will not be playing baseball. That it was not even being completed. The question now remains on some Mr. Gomez. estate values Michael Jackson likeness at $2,105. The IRS said the value is actually more than $403 million. That's a big difference. That is a big difference. You're talking about a huge difference. Let me read this again. The estate value of Michael Jackson's likeness at $2,105. The IRS said the value is actually more than $434 million. That's a big gap. The article also said the estate valued Michael's interests in the trust that owns songs by MJ and the Beatles, which is a big asset, by the way, at zero. Let's read this again, shall we? The estate valued Michael Jackson's interest in the trust that owns songs by Michael Jackson and the Beatles at zero. Come on now. How can an estate actually say that his interest of songs that you and I both know is worth more? He has songs that haven't even been released yet that has been leaked on YouTube. You can listen to it right now on YouTube if you want. Raw recordings released on YouTube. That is worth a lot of money. The Beatles, this thing name alone is worth a lot of money. And you're telling me they actually did a network of zero? Come on now. I can't believe that. I cannot. I refuse to believe they said that. The I.R.S. says it's more like $469 million. Now the state said it's worth zero. I.R.S. says it's $469 million. Somebody needs to find there. Somebody's accounting is not adding up here. There's another MJ trust. The estate claims it's worth $2.2 million. The IRS says it's worth $60.6 million. This is also very important. The estate values the Jackson 5 master recording, which I didn't even know Michael Jackson had. I thought they were still owned by Motown. $11.2 million. The IRS says it's $45.5 million. Cooking the Books has a brand new meeting with this article. It's pretty clear the state will fight this like crazy, but worst case scenario, the taxes could wipe out what the state has made since my MJ's death, which could be devastating for Michael's kids. And this is where it really comes down to. The kids may actually lose out in the end. I got a question though, just curiosity. Who's running the estate now? Who's looking at the estate and making sure no shadiness is going down now? Because it tells me that somebody's not watching someone that's really has done some very shady stuff that's actually hurting the estate, not helping it. Now the article said they have contacted the rep who says they stand by the internal statement on the matter, telling us that the estate of Michael Jackson's dispute the IRS's position and entries. The rep added the estate used independent records, nationally recognized and high qualified experts in determining the value of the estate assets. Who are these people? I don't know, but obviously the IRS and these people are not seeing eye to eye. By contrast, the IRS consulting values are not based on standard methodological methods, but rather are parts of enormous assumptions unsupported by the facts or laws. The estate had paid over $100 million in taxes, and it is full compliance with the tax laws. So this is going to be, this is going to be very interesting. Uh, because again, I gotta ask myself what, because cooking the books is not surprising in this matter. Um, Being creative with these accounting, which is by the way illegal, somebody who took classes in accounting, is not shocking. The thing that really I find fascinating about this, besides the fact that the state says one thing and the IRS says another, is normally the IRS, when it comes to these kind of states, at least in New York, would actually do a special audit. They'll come in, they ask you to open the books, see what you got, see what estimates you got, and then determine from there how much you actually owe or don't owe. And from what I've seen here, this is something that's very, very interesting here. I'm going to go back to uh, what has been said in I believe, the third paragraph. In the highly unusual move, the IRS claimed executives so grossly misled agencies, it doubled the tax penalty from 20 to 40%. So in other words, this is not just a 1 year thing. Keep in mind, the IRS works very strangely. They don't come after you 1 year. They don't come after you 2 years. Sometimes they can wait 5 years before they attack you. So this is pretty much something that extended over a course of a few years before the IRS finally said, all right, enough is enough. And the IRS, once they step in, they want their money. And they were planning to get their money, or somebody's going to go to jail for tax evasion. So it's kind of wondering about just how much that they actually really said or did not mention, and if they really was, basically trying to pull a fast one on the IRS, which wasn't surprise to me. Again, in all, and I do agree with this article that the people who end up losing out the most is going to be the kids, because the estate is meant to be for them. At a certain age, they're supposed to take control of it, and this is something that they don't want to hear. But again, I'm curious on who's running the estate and who's keeping an eye on the people who's supposed to be making sure everything is maintained, make sure everything is smoothly and going to work. Because I always say this: if you keep your eye on the ball, a lot of guys, some of those eyes are vultures, and they will ruin you just like that without even knowing. I'll leave a link below, and again, I will keep a follow-up on this, because this is something that's very, very, very interesting to see how that all pans out. But again, makes me wonder, man. It makes me wonder. All right, let's move right along. We got a lot of stuff to do. Might as well just talk about this one here. I'll leave the last two, because that won't be too quickly. In case you guys have not been following, the last couple of days I've been reading about the Biggest Loser, which, by the way, I don't really bother to see. I can lose some weight myself, I will admit that, but to me, these things, I don't tend to look at these reality shows because they give a false sense of how you should lose weight. And this show, which, by the way, has not escaped criticism in the past before, this is actually something that is not new. But with the situation involving one of the contestants, which is, I believe, Rachel Frederickson, she was one of the people who has been featured in this article, that many people are reacting in a very concerning way, and they are very much criticizing the show. Here's what it says here. The Biggest Losers finale aired on Thursday, February 4th. Federation 24 won season 15. Wow, it's been on that long? Jesus. Season 15 of NBC's show, and dropped 155 pounds, which was a 59% of her original body weight. On Wednesday, one of the trainers, the Vote Twin, posted a message on Facebook and spoke about her transformation. Frederickson turned heads literally when she walked on the stage, the Biggest Loser, the Biggest Loser finale, and viewers immediately noticed a thinner Bob Harper and Julian Mitchell looked in shock. Mitchell could be seen mouthing "Oh my God" over and over. Piper responded on Twitter and wrote, Julian, I want to take a moment to congratulate all of the Biggest Loser contestants for their hard work. We're not comfortable commenting on Rachel's journey because she wasn't we we wasn't her trainer and wasn't giving opportunity to work with her at any point. Now, the reason why this is a big deal, and I'm gonna read what this next sentence says here. This paragraph pretty much says it all. Immediately after the finale, internet erupted in cries of, "Is she too skinny?" and "Did she lose too much weight?" Now, why they're saying this right here is because, as you know, uh, anorexia is a very serious disorder, very dangerous disorder, where people basically starve themselves almost to near nothingness. People have actually died because of this, and the comments underneath the article pretty much is telling. And that's exactly where a lot of the comments are coming down from. I'll read one of the comments there. If you saw her walking down the street, you would think, oh, she's nice and slim. In fact, the next Biggest Loser have lost 55% of the original weight seems to be ignored by people who are condemning her success. This is probably one of the positive ones. She may be the first Biggest Loser who has showed that you can go from too heavy to nice and slim, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. And he's right. I'm not going to say he's wrong. But here's is where the response come in. I think you fail to recognize that not everyone would think, oh, she's a nice and slim. A lot of people would think oh my, eat a sandwich. That's actually true too. That is actually true too. In fact, she's not nice and slim. She's nearly 10% under the healthy weight. One of the commenters said, calm down, people. It is a contest. And I gotta disagree with this for the simple fact is, it's a contest involving you losing weight. It's involving your health. Okay? It's not just one of those contests where you win a prize, if you lose a prize, no big deal. This is something involving your health, and if you're not careful, you can make yourself sick and even cause serious injury to yourself. So, yeah, it's a contest, but it's also a contest that really does have high stake and really does play into the society's self-esteem situation. So I disagree with what the commenter said. I understand it's his opinion, and he has a reason to opinionate, but I just want to make you know, when a contest involves your health being put on display like that, yeah, people's going to react to it because, again, anorexia is real. People's images about, oh, you're too big, you're too slim, is real. And this is where us, man and woman, have to be mindful when it comes to the situation, especially those who went through it. But the guy said basically, calm down, it's a contest. She's 10 pounds too thin, she won, and now she will get a life and gain a little weight. She achieved discipline to do this. Now she needs to gain 10 or 16 and live her life. Ditto. Let me see what this person says. I go anorexic for a month and win a cash prize. Basically, being a smart aleck. That's what I'm saying is, where is all the extra skin? Did she have surgery already? Losing that quickly is accompanied by skin flap. Is accompanied by skin flap. Very interesting point here. LL, I just made the same comment. Great minds, hey, how can she lose that much weight and not and have no loose skin? Never seen that before. And you start to see a big trend here between what she looks like, what she's supposed to look like, this and that. Is she too thin and look anorexic? Her face was pretty when she was heavier, and while I think losing weight is good for her health. It looks like she went too far, in my opinion. One person agrees with that. I'm going to read one more. It said, wow, she lost 155 pounds and have no loose skin that needed to be surgically removed. I find that unbelievable. People is keeping very much loose skins. I don't know why, but that's obviously something that is definitely on our people's mind on this comment section. But here's the thing. I've seen the picture. There's actually when I leave the link for you guys to look at it. I've seen the picture. I see how she looked it before, and I see how she looks now. And I gotta tell you, either her trainer, if her trainer have done this, and I say, wow, I need to know who her trainer is, because this is done in just a few short times, and she does look fine. I don't see that big of a problem. But again, I can see where the concern is. Now, NBC did make a statement. They had said some stuff in there. It said, and they pretty much as going to be with pretty much standing by the contestant side. They said pretty much said the following. It says, we remain committed to helping contestants achieve healthy weight loss and live healthier lifestyles, and to inspire viewers to do the same. And again, they showed a picture of the transformation below. Now the question is, and like I said before, what type of training they had? This guy must have been a very good trainer, because again, this is a big giant transformation. If you take a look at this picture, it's unbelievable. That's how good this transformation is. But again, I can see the point for most of the people who are concerned about this, especially health-wise. You don't want to give the wrong picture that starving yourself at any level is a good thing. Yeah, you want to have a diet, you want to lose weight, but you want to do it correctly, and you want to make sure a doctor is in that out process, so that way you can know what to do, what to do. Because if you try to do it the wrong way, it can actually harm you more than help you. I had friends who actually ended up in the hospital because they thought it was a good idea to starve themselves, and it actually made things even worse. So I'll leave a link. I'd like to hear your opinion on it. Definitely is again, when you see the picture, is wow. That's a big transformation. It's just a short amount of time. It is. And I'll leave your opinion on that and let you guys comment on that. Two more stories to go. I'm going to touch on one thing. It's pretty much two entertainment worlds. They're going to be very short and simple. Just some updates on the movie and Aexl Rose's criticism of Red Hot Chili Pepper. So let's start with Aexl Rose, shall we? It's been a while since I've seen him on the news, but apparently it says here, Aexl Rose was not impressed with Red Hot Chili Peppers and at the Super Bowl halftime show. Maybe they all had microchips installed in their asses, and not to pick up a frequency on their instrument, but get DirecTV and the internet too. Wrote the 58-year-old Rose in a tongue-in-cheek I don't know why. If the band wasn't really playing, or wireless or whatever, and any Collins was Anthony Collins was really singing, they may have set a new world record for the longest Kodiak audience ever. Awesome. So apparently he's not happy with the way things were. The Chili Peppers became under fire when fans noticed the band didn't plug in their instruments on Super Bowl Sunday. Michael Flay and Britson eventually admitted that although the vocals were live, the music was pre-recorded. Apparently, Guns N' Roses frontman still wasn't feeling it. He spoke out on Twitter comparing the rock group's Super Bowl stunt. Pretty much tossed Thompson Jr., the man who pretended to be a sign language interpreter. Oh, yeah, that you can't compare that to that. That was a whole different situation, a more serious situation. I'm not going to compare that to that. But basically what it is, so much for for science, but hey, they still got the Kodiak thing going for them. So basically, they're just knocking the guy for not actually playing the musician live. Honestly, I didn't really care. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care for halftime shows and Super Bowls. I said this before when I was talking about my feeling on the Super Bowl. And to be honest with you, I wasn't even going to watch it, but I actually was impressed by the performance of Bruno Mars and the fact I saw Chili Peppers, whether they was playing their album live or not. Just seeing them, I actually liked their music. I actually liked the band, and that's all I was. They wasn't there the whole time. If it was one thing, if they were supposed to be performing throughout, but they wasn't. They was actually there. They played their music, and they left. It was still Bruno Mars all the way. So, to me, it's really just picking on it. It's tongue in cheek. You can come on the fire all they want, but to me, it's not that big of a deal. It'd be more of a concern have they was the main feature. They wasn't the main feature. And let's be honest. You honestly believe that they're gonna play a live music for one 3-minute performance? Not gonna happen. It's just not. They got there so on their favorite song. It was already pre-recorded. They know what they was gonna sing, and they left. And I don't have a problem with that. Now, if you want to say that if they would have played throughout from beginning to end, then yeah, I can see where people can get mad because they feel cheated. But to me, they wasn't there the whole time. And to think and to get mad at them for something like that, look, is to me it's just nitpicking. It's just pettiness. But then again, you know, I think people were just more upset about the fact that it was the one-sided football, and it really was one-sided. Last but not least, Will Smith. In case you haven't heard the news, Independence Day is going to have a sequel whenever they decide to actually start filming. But one thing we do know for sure, Will Smith isn't returning for it. According to the article by the Associated Press, they have learned that in October that the long Independence Day sequel has 2 working scripts. Will Smith and one with Will Smith, one without. Now, according to the Deadline.com, it looks like the one that doesn't feature Will Smith is more likely to enter production. Anonymous sources tell Deadline that Smith has informed Fox that he is not on board with the follow-up to the popular sci-fi flicks. The early report indicated that Smith has not yet officially broken the news to director Ronald Emmerich, who, by the way, I haven't seen make a film since G.I. Joe. I mean, that G.I. Joe kept him sidelined. Who previously said the actor's involvement was looking good, despite the fact that he has no expenses to and too marquee. HuffPost reached out to Smith rep whose confirmation and who will update the post upon hearing back. The release of Independence Day, also known as ID Forever, will conclude the 2006 original 20th anniversary. Has it been that long? Oh wow! It was delayed from July 2015 to July 2016 to avoid a busy summer. That's actually a smart move to include Jurassic World, Fantastic Four, Terminator, Genesis, and Ant-Man. Even if Smith doesn't return, we may still see a star-studded spectacular as Michael B. Jordan is rumored for the lead, and Independent star Jeff Goldblum and Paul Pillman will be reportedly expected to reprise their role. Here's how it goes down here, guys, and I'm gonna be very honest with you. If this Independent Day was done 5 years ago, I probably would have been all excited. The more I look at it and the more I see how that film aged, I don't know if they're doing the right thing as releasing this film. Now, granted, this film made over $800 million worldwide, but that doesn't mean they're gonna hit the genie in the box the second time. And let's be honest, Harold Emmerich, he hasn't exactly had been hitting blockbusters at the blockbusters. Like I said, G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra was his last film, and that was 5 years ago. He hasn't made a film since, and there's a reason for that. But in many cases, it's just I don't think that this film, which is one of his biggest achievements, I just don't see it working. I don't really see how this can work. Maybe they got a script that is darker than the first one and has more sense to it, but I don't know. It's just weird. And to be honest with you, I don't think Will Smith is interested in making the sequel. I think there is some truth to the fact that Will Smith don't want to be involved with it. Nor should he should be pressured to be involved with it. But there's a to see what's going to happen. They definitely want to do it. They're definitely gonna do it. And one can only ask, is this movie going to be good? That's the only thing you're going to ask for. To me, I just think it's too late for a sequel. But who knows? People are still out there looking for Ghostbusters 3, and I don't think it's ever going to get made. But at least this one, it has a good opportunity to get it from the ground. Well, that's it, guys. That's all I got to say about the situation. It's been a nice, long one. Again, I will leave links to all the stories I've talked about. But until then, again, I'll be reading your comments below. You guys take it easy. And then that's for me, J77, saying take care, be safe, and I'll talk to you again soon.